Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Deiser Connection. Welcome to this special episode that comes all the way down from Anaheim. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago, we attended this ultimate team event that Atlassian decided to call Atlassian Team 25. It was held in Anaheim, and we got together with a lot of professionals that were looking into collaborating, into learning, and into sharing knowledge with each other. This special episode is all about project management, and we got none other than Alex Ortiz, who knows a lot about what's going on in Jira because he has been working with Jira for so many years, and he teaches people how to use Jira, how to administrate Jira, and how to evolve with Jira. We asked him a few questions. This chat is all about the future of Atlassian because Atlassian is changing, and we would like to know a lot more and maybe dig a little bit deep into his brain and learn what can we expect in the future about project management, about Rovo, about teamwork, Jira Line, etc. So I leave you with the interview and hope you like it. See you later. How are things looking for project management in
Yeah.
Jira?
So I don't know how much project management is going to improve, but what I can tell you, current state, and then maybe a little teaser of where I think is going to happen. But project management in Jira is not a focus.
Yeah.
Right. Jira, from the Scrum perspective, Agile perspective, at that team level, sprint to sprint, they got that down.
Yeah.
That does that really well. Problem is, how do you know what you're supposed to work on?
Yeah.
One sprint, two sprints, three sprints out, right? That's kind of where project management comes into play. And then there's the two teams that have to work together, three teams that have to work together. How do you organize and structure them all, right? So what Jira does really well is we have the plans capability, the Jira Advanced Roadmaps, that allows us to pull 2-3 projects and allows us to see all the work from all the teams.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it stops, right? But we don't have critical things like a critical path, right? We don't have the ability for the start and end of one task to impact or influence the start or end of another task. And I think these are critical key components that are more traditional, like in a Smart Sheet or a Microsoft Project, which are two very traditional project management tools that are just missing in Jira.
Yes.
Now, do I think Atlassian will roll it out? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Atlassian's in that game.
Okay.
I don't think Atlassian's in the project management game.
Okay.
I think they're just in the here's work, track your work.
Yeah. Exactly.
How you do it, it's up to you.
It's up to you. Cool. You say that Jira is not, or Atlassian is not in that game. What game do you think Atlassian
Atlassian's in?
Yeah.
I think so. The game that I see at Atlassian right now is monopolization of maybe monopolization is a strong word, right? But they want ownership of the full stack.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I see Atlassian really evolving into, right, is we already have some teams that are putting their work in Jira, but those teams need to work with other teams that are in other tools.
Exactly.
And to have a holistic project management experience, you all need to be in the same house. And I think right now, Atlassian, at least within the next 5 years, what I'm seeing is they need to convince other teams that Jira is a tool for them.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get there without the project management piece. Or without the stigma of software development, because I think Jira at the end of the day is still a technical software tool. But there's a lot of teams out there that just don't have a method or a process, and I think Atlassian might want to start attacking that low-hanging fruit first.
What about people or teams that only want Jira? Would they be able to see that holistic view that Atlassian wants?
I think so. I think with the home feature that Atlassian was introducing, I think they will evolve, because one of the things that Rovo is supposed to be good at, right, is why are we late?
Yeah.
Right? Why are we late? Because I can't imagine that stakeholders at Atlassian are not talking to customers of like, what do you want Jira to do? And I would assume that we want to know, are we on track, off track, behind risks, right? These are the traditional things that stakeholders want to know.
Yes.
Where's our money? How's it being spent? And you kind of see that. The problem is that I see that in Jira Align.
Uh-huh.
I don't see it in Jira.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, cool.
And I think Atlassian long term needs to fix that part.
Yeah.
Because Jira Align is a tool that is too expensive, too out of reach, has what I want.
Yeah.
But I need some variant of that in Jira.
Now, the biggest announcement is that Rovo is free for everyone. Do you think that it's actually fully free?
I think Atlassian is going to do this at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. I think that they announced Rovo last year.
Yeah.
And they hit us with that price tag.
Yeah.
And I think they listened to that reaction, right? Because in the United States we have something called DOA, dead on arrival.
Yeah, dead on arrival. Yeah.
And I felt like Rovo at that price point was not going to compete, right? Because you already have this economy, at least in this economy, right? We have collapsed budgets, we have shrinking budgets, right? We have tools. We're trying to cut back as much as possible. And how do you justify adding, was it $24 or something like that? Per person, per month? And you have to buy it for everybody? Like, it just didn't make sense.
Exactly.
Now, here's where I think Atlassian is going to go wrong. At least not wrong, but here's where they're going to have a challenge.
Yeah.
They make it free, just like automations were free.
Yes.
They're going to switch to usage at some point. Right? They haven't announced any of that, I predict.
Exactly.
Right? I predict they're going to, because it's not sustainable either, right?
Yeah.
Think of, I've read that running one ChatGPT query is the same as powering your phone like one time or something like that, right? So the amount of energy needed to run a query, can you imagine how much energy is needed to run Rovo queries, right? So I'm assuming it's not going to be cheap.
It's not going to be cheap.
So it's going to cost them, but they need to drive adoption.
Yeah.
And so I think they have to do kind of what like Apple does, where it's like you bring them all in at a free level, give them a taste of what's possible, and it tastes so good that's like a drug addict, right? You can't get it. You're gonna have to get it. And so when the license is like, okay, well now it's $5, $10, $20, they have to, they have to get hurt first, but they need to create that desire.
Exactly.
And without the desire, because we've had it Rovo for a year and I didn't see any movement.
No, me neither, because the thing is that when I'm seeing it on the marketing perspective, they have this amazing tool that is Rovo, based on AI, and they want to make it premium, super premium, that is super expensive, right? For everyone. They could make it like $20 for an entire team, maybe 10 people, $20, but they did it for every user, So it's premium price, and now 6 months later, they decided to make it free for everyone, something premium free for everyone.
I'm telling you, they gotta entice it, right? They gotta make it luring, where you're like, I need this. They're gonna try it, and then I think if Atlassian delivers on what they're promising, you're not gonna be able to live without it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when look at Netflix, right? Look at your price of Netflix. Look at your price of Spotify. Look at your price of any subscription. Your phone bill, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You need it.
Yeah, you need it.
So what do?
Yeah, exactly. You're
pay.
Gonna have to pay.
You pay.
You're gonna have to pay.
So they'll make up for it. Now, I think my personal 2 cents, if I would have been Atlassian, I would have introduced you know how they introduced their collection for $15?
Yes, exactly.
I would have taken advantage. I would have popped it in for 30, right? I would have doubled it there.
Yeah, doubled it.
Because now I don't feel like I'm adding on.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't feel like I'm paying, like I'm paying one product and then paying another. But I'm paying a little bit of a premium.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a bigger bundle. So the value appears to be there, but they're not losing money.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would have gone double on the price.
It was a pleasure, Alex, and I'm really glad that we met again. And hopefully we'll see each other in Barcelona.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. No, I will be there, and you're gonna have to teach me how you jumped off the roof there.
Yeah, it was really tough. I didn't even get a scratch, but I'll tell you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
So interesting, right? Alex Ortiz is always a big bucket of knowledge, and we want to take advantage of what he has to say in order for us to learn more and to learn where we are headed in the Atlassian verse, because it's not an ecosystem, it's a full thing now, it's a universe. Okay, just think about that. So, hope you liked it, hope you found it interesting, and yes, I guess that we will be talking about the Atlassian Team 25 until Atlassian Team 25 Europe in Barcelona, because we will be there, So let's see let's see how long are we going to be talking about this amazing event still. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked it. See you soon. Bye bye.